Sweet. So pretty similar setup to last time. All right, we just have a Google Books adapter. It's just going to pull essentially the first 20 books by Stephen King and like some other artist, some other author. I forget who it is. All right, and then it's just going to seed our data. Boop, 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 boop. It's going to seed our database, right, with books and authors, and that's all it's going to do. We have our application controller. This is just going to set the views. It's going to give me that method override already, so I don't have to kind of deal with that later. And then it's going to give me some sort of home page. Cool. I've built this author's controller for you already, and it's going to inherit from the application controller. Remember, the application controller is the one that pulls from Sinatra base, and that's going to be like the new stuff that you learned in Mod 2. And everything else should inherit from the application controller. Right? So here now for the first time, we're starting to see more than one controller. We're going to see more than one view of the same things and how we're going to separate those concerns. Right? So before in some of your labs, you have in the views, you just have like one folder here. But now we should be having a views folder for books and we should have a views folder for authors. Right? So we want some sort of books index that shows us all the books, and the authors index that shows us all the authors. Except we don't want to put it in one index file. We want to separate them, right? So in each one of those subfolders, they'll have their individual index. So here we can kind of start, right? Boop, boop, boop. So we have an authors view, and then we'll have a books view folder, right? And that's where we're going to put the index, the show, the new, the edit in each one of these. Make sense? Yeah.
So why do you want them separate?
Because you're going to have an index page for each. And they're both going to be named index.erb. So how do I know which one is which? Right? It's going to be in the correct subfolder. So when I'm looking under authors index, it's going to show me all the authors. Right? Cool. Good question. Here we have layout. Again, we have our friend yield here that's going to save us from writing all of this doc type. This right here is just some CSS, so don't worry about it. I didn't want the app to look like total trash. So, cool. SQLite database. I put this in here already, right? I'm going to be using these controllers because I had some sort of foresight. If your app breaks and everything else works, look in the config.ru and don't forget to be able to run the controllers that you need. Right? This is like one of the last gotchas of Sinatra. All right, cool. All right, so first thing I should do when I get in here is what? Right? Because notice I don't have a gem file lock, so I did not actually install all the files. That's embarrassing. That's because I'm not in the right folder. What is this? Oh, 16. Little bundle action.
So could you say that thing again about the controllers you use in the run that you just said? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. So in the controllers, right, I have a controllers folder. And for every one of my models, I'm going to have a matching controller. And that's going to control the data just for that model to pass in that model's view. So author's controller should have an author model for an author view.
No, I mean, what does it say about the use author controller?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So in the config.ru, usually when you spin up a new Sinatra server, these will be gone.
Okay.
And it will not know. It will automatically default to try running everything in the application controller. So in order to be able to use any other controller besides the application controller, you'll have to tell it specifically, hey, use these controllers.
Okay.
Yeah?
So why does it use and not run?
That's a very good question. I should have Googled that earlier. I don't really know the difference. I just know that run has to be somewhere in here, and then you can use the rest of them. Like if I wanted to, I could be a bum and like this. And then I can do use. Why that works, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, honestly, if you really want the answer, I'm going to Google for you later. I don't know. If I use all run in there, it will work. If I use all use in there, it will break. So run does something slightly different, and And I owe you an answer if you really want to know. If it's like that important to you, I'll find out for you. Cool? All right, so first thing is, right, half this app is built. A lot of times, seeing something that's kind of pieced together, right, if you can solve it from here at this point, it should demonstrate a little bit more of a mastery, right? Because it's easy to start from scratch and then follow like a linear progression, but then to see some of it built and then build it out is also like a very useful skill, right? Because then you, in your mind, can understand where the holes are, and that demonstrates a little bit more proficiency. Is that cool? So the first thing is, we have the model, right? For the first time, we have models, right? I saved you the trouble, and I just built it because this is very complicated. And does this need to be explained anymore or no? Are we good?
What
I
is
figured.
that?
Very good. So, sorry, that threw me off. That's funny. We have the models, right? What do we need now? Besides the model. The model interacts with what?
Well, we want to set up the methods in the controller, and we want to connect the appropriate methods to the right view pages.
Yes, we definitely want to do that at some point. But the model does what? Someone said, what was it? Yes, the model touches the database, right? So where's our data right now? So we don't have one, right? So let's do that. How would I do it? For, if I wanted to, I don't know, maybe make a migration, what would I use? Right? Excellent. Okay, and what's the name of this? S or no S? Awesome. Right? And then what else do we need? Money. Let's do it. A little bit of that, a little bit of that. Cool. So we have authors and we have books. In this table, right? What is the relationship between book and author? Let's not do the many to many yet. Let's just start slow, right? Books belong to authors. So what does an author really need? All right, what is this? The table is called. Yeah. I was wondering why I didn't highlight. Cool. And I'm gonna forget this. All right, let's just give the author a name. Nothing wild. Oops. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger in her... No? Nobody? Because I typed this by accident? All right. Must be old. All right.
No, I remember listening to that song in pre-K.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Maybe.
I know now why you don't listen to the lectures. Yeah, I get it. I get it now. I get it. So what's the relationship between book and author again? Cool. So I might have made a mistake. Which one of these should get the foreign key? Cool beans. And I just do it like this? Yeah? And it should be... Okay, cool. Oops. Yeah, I can.
Well, how are we going to pull this data from Google Books and it's going to match the name and everything?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, aren't we going to be pulling this data from Google Books?
Yeah, so in my seeds, I'm using something called the adapter. And in the books, I already know I'm going to have some sort of title, snippet, and author for the book, right? I'm just kind of like moving along a little bit quickly since I went over this last time. Should be a slight refresher so that we can do all the same CRUD functionality, right? Build again on the solid foundations. I can try my best to hammer REST into you, and then we can build out just a little bit more each time, right? Some more extra features. But always, always, always get back to CRUD. So the migrations look done. What should I do now? Cool. That's good. Done. And how can I verify? Cool. And now that I have that, Where's my data going to come from? What do I need to do? There we go. See that database, right? And it broke on me. What a punk. Did I mean author ID? Yes. Undefined method author equal. Come on, you. What is the sanitizer? Oh, I know what happened. Okay. So, what is this right here? Book.author. It's trying to call it, there it is. I was trying to lead you there, but I didn't know how to do it. Thank you, God, you saved me. It's trying to call it active record method, right? So how do I get these active record methods in? I have to build the association, right? Let's check the model. Is the association built? So what is the association? Right, it belongs to an author? Yeah, cool. And the author, what? Cool. That should do it. Let's try it. Let's seed that database. Whoa. Well, the good news is the error changed, right? Johnny, it's not the end of the world here. All right, undefined method title equals. Come on. Oh, did I not put title? Oh, I put name. Embarrassing. So you know what I should do? You know it. Yes, thank you. So if I check the schema, the books is not done yet. So I'll do this. You guys are great, all right? This is huh? The best. Yeah. I mean, not from me. I don't know where you got it from. It's probably Mike Chang. Migrate, right? And then, finally, seed that database. All right, good deal. It went through. Oh. It's getting nervous. Cool. So we can always check, right? We pop into the console real quick. I am sorry. I shrank it because I was working on some stuff. Is this helpful? Yes. Sorry. Just say something. Am I scary? Cool. So we can do book.all, and we can see a bunch of books, right? And then we can do author.all. Okay. Guess there's only two. Forgot. And then we should be able to do what? Book.first.author. Cool. That works. So my associations are good. My seed database is good. My migrations are done. My associations are done. I can finally start building my application. Do you remember when this lecture took an hour and a half? My one, just flying through now.
Why are there IDs 3 and 4, not 1 and 2? Not that it really matters.
So what happened was I prepped this lecture and I ran it already, and then I deleted them. So they were 1 and 2 at first, and then for the surprise mystery, we did it together in class. So that's because you're good. That's why. And you called me out in the middle of lecture while I was being recorded. So cool. So now let's build some CRUD, right? So what's the first thing we probably want to show? That's not the right thing. We probably want to see all of a particular resource, right? Like book or author. So let's start with let's start with author, right? So I wrote these handy dandy notes in here, right? So I'm always going to refer to something called the index. An index is generally what? What? See all of something, right? In this case, it's going to be authors, right? So what's the route? Well, what's the HTTP method? What's the verb that I'm going to be using? Get. Yeah, get? Cool. And where is it going? You guys making fun of me back there? Huh?
Index.
To index?
No, it's just a slash.
Right, we want to follow that restular routing, right? Rest. It should be what now? Very good.
That's fine.
Yeah? Just guessing now. Right, I want to see all the authors, so I'm going to go to a route called authors. Right, cool. Right, and what do I need in the authors? What kind of data do I need? I need all authors. Yeah? Cool. And now, nope. And now what? Now that I have all the authors, what should I send back to the client? You know it. And what is the ERB I want to send them? So, this right here, the ERB, is going to be the view that I'm going to send. Right? So the view that I'm going to send is going to be what? Author or books? Authors, right? Slash index. Right? Because I'm going to be making something in my authors folder and I want to send up the index. Yeah?
You already include the view part in the big file or something?
Can I what now?
You already include the first part of the ERB string tab. So you should view author because it's within views. And you're in.
Oh, you're talking about just doing this instead?
Yeah, I'm just confused why you're not doing views author index since you're in the controller.
Got it. So in the application controller, I set the views to be in a folder of views already. So it's going to default to views. So it's going to look in here immediately. So once it looks into app views, I'm then sending in the views folder, there's a subfolder called authors and then a file called index. Awesome. Good question. So let's do it. Let us master blast this. But before I do anything else. Cool. All right. So we'll just master blast this. Nice. Cool. So I'm just running a server here, and I have another terminal that if I need to go into the console or something, I don't have to shut the server down. I can do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I get dirty, get after it, and then I can go right back to the server. Is that cool? Awesome. So now that the server's running, what does this mean? What do I do now? I go to what? You remember Murderface? So long ago. What is this? Did I not migrate? I did. You're a bum. And nothing should happen. I'm sorry, say again? Is that what this wants? Shh. Go to sleep. I shut the server down, didn't I? I did. Shh. Go to sleep. So anyways, bet you're wondering where all this comes from, right? So I built a lot of this for you, and it's just easier for me to explain what's happening rather than try to teach you what's happening, because when you come in to this program, there's a assumed understanding of some basic HTML. So I'm going to go over that for you right now, right? Cool. So I have layout here. It's yielding. Something else I'm doing is I'm bringing in all this style. So that's why you see this very cool pink header, probably coming from here, right? Ooh, you like that? Yeah. And then I have a welcome page. So my welcome page, right, is going to be defaulted from here. When I get to a /root, I immediately ERB welcome. This is like what Facebook.com is going to show you, right? Because you don't really go to like twitter.com/your username, right? Like you don't actually type that route in. You just go to like google.com or like twitter.com, and then you click through to the resources that you want that get you there. So this is effectively known as like the homepage, right? I go to root because there's no extra resource outside my domain, and then I serve up something called welcome. So here's welcome, right? And it makes sense because it's in my application controller. So there's no subfolder here. Set views, it's going to go right to welcome. Did I lose anybody on that? It's very important, like, if you can follow that route, the rest of the routes will also make sense. It's just like a foundational understanding.
So,
Right? Yeah?
maybe I'm ahead of you, but is welcome then gonna have links to the next other things through like a post thing or a get thing? And then
You're so smart. Yes. So let's go to welcome, right? Let's check it out. I have navigation that leads to this. I have an A tag, right? Do you guys remember what the A tag is? The anchor tag? All it does the links. So home brings me directly to slash. And slash is going to bring me where?
Where you are.
It's going to serve up welcome. So just served up welcome. You didn't really see it, but it did it. Because like watch this bad boy right here. This thing. Boop. And it did it. If you really want to go hard in the paint, we can go, right? We could check the network. If I go home, it actually will download some more assets. Gives me back a status 200, right? Status 200 means, okay, cool. So here we have view all the books, right? And that's going to be what route? /books. If I want to create a new book, right? This is books new. View all the authors /authors. Create new author, author/new, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to view all the authors. That's what I said, right? I made this route already, so let's test it. I want to view all the authors. You can always double check because check this corner right here, right? This little corner right here. You can always verify the routes that you're going to. Will be right there. Yeah? Boop, 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 boop. Cool. So if I click all authors, what happens? What should happen? I should hit the authors controller and then go to a route called /authors, right? Only, what do I get? I get an error, right? So let's start our error-driven development. No such file or directory in @views authors with a file name of index.erb. Why would I have no such file in this directory? Because I haven't made it yet. Adoy. I'm stuck in the 90s, I'm sorry. It was the bomb.com. It really was. Right? The index.erb, that's the file we want, right? God, I'm so lame. Sweet. So let's check to see if it works, right? We drop a little p tag. Actually, let's get crazy, right? Let's drop a h1 tag. I'm like, index. Oops, too many. I saved it too many times. You guys do that by accident? Cool. If I hit refresh, index, money, right? So now what do I want to actually display in here? Right? So what do I have access to that the controller passed me? Oops, that's the application controller. I want the authors controller. Bloop. So the authors controller, right, gives me access to @authors, which is going to be authors.all. So here I can easily just do a quick dirty, let's not do that. What are these? There's a bunch of them, right? So let's just make it a quick unordered list, right? Little Ruby interpolation action. We're going to do @books, which is going to be, I'm sorry, authors, which is going to be all of them, right? I'm going to through each one of these, I'm lazy, authors. And what am I going to do?
just show the name.
Right? I want to right now just display an li tag, and I just want to see A, which stands for author, coming from this sweet name. I can't do this, I'm sorry. Sorry, I let you down. I thought I was a bad boy, but I was not. Anyways, what does authors have? All right, if you ever forget, quick look at the schema. It's just a name. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, just kidding. Where's the index? All right, dot name. And let's check to see if that. Oh yeah, yeah. Wow.
Equal sign.
That would have been bad. Cool. With the equal sign, yeah. These are so good. Boom. Now it's a very complicated list. Right? Cool. Chip. Nice. So what's next, right? Let's go back. Boop, 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 boop. Authors controller. I want to be able to show a specific author. So, what's the route? What's the verb? Post, patch, put, delete, little get action, and then where's it going? Cool. And then what's it doing? Oh yeah. Ooh, did it break on you and you caught it? Oh, okay. So it's just author. Wow, this is like double vision, huh? And what's happening here? What is at author? Do you guys like find or find by?
Fine.
Do you like find?
Yeah.
I like find by, and I'll show you what the main difference is. Right? Here we have find.
Should we Google it? I'm sorry.
At this point, I'm just going to answer your questions, right? If it's like a very abstract concept, I will help you Google it. So, with the params of the IOD, right? The ID. So, here's the thing about find. Let's hop into the console. Can you see this, or is this? Right? Is that better? Cool. So if I were to do, right, author.all, I have an ID of 3 and 4. If I were to do author.findBy an ID of, let's say, 70, what would happen? It returns nil. But if I were to do author.find on 70, what does it return? An error. It breaks. It actually breaks. So, that being said, if I were to use find, and for whatever reason the params don't come through, say authors/1, it will break. But if I were to use something like find by with an ID of params1, what would happen? It works, but it just doesn't find, it doesn't return you anything. So find will break your code if it doesn't work. Find by will return nil. And right now it's displaying nil as expected behavior. So if you had to pick one, if you're looking for perfect execution of code, find is a little bit better because it forces it to work. But find by would be the better resource. In the event that it doesn't find anything, it's just going to serve you back nil. Was that like a good explanation?
Great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, how do you get like a error message to come out if you can't? Like, can you make this show an error message instead of being blank?
Yeah. That would then you would just then you would start adding some more logic, like if author.findBy double equal to nil, and then you can do something else. You can add additional information, right? You can probably wind up doing something like if this winds up being nil, right? Oop, boop, boop. Right? If at author, right, is nil, then at errors equals to no author. And then, because this is an instance variable, will I have access to it in the view that I pass? So then, in the view, this is getting like really too forward, right? And I'm going to cut it out here in a little bit. At the top here, I'm just going to interpolate. right? If at errors, and then I'm going to print the error. That's how you would do it. That make sense? Cool. We'll be doing a lot of this when we get to Rails. It's just a little quick. Cool. Any other questions?
Well, and then also find is also more versatile, right? Because you can put in other params.
Yeah, you can search for other things besides ID. Find will default to ID. Yeah? Cool. So what's happening here? What else we got? After we get all of them, what should we do? Once we touch the data, once we get the data, what do we need to send back? The view? Let's do it. And what's the view? Show, right? Remember these sweet verbs? Trust me, they will help you later, right? So learn, index, show, new, create, edit, delete, yeah? So what's happening here? Oops. So no such file or directory, authors show. There we go. A little bit of this, a little bit of this, right? And how do we do show? Probably like a little p tag, something like author.name, right? There's not much else, right? So show page, heart. Actually, you guys want to see something really cool? It's a shame May's gonna miss this.
What?
Oh yeah.
I just do that.
Shh. What? Command Control Spacebar will open up the emoji window for you. You're welcome. Not a lot of the other instructors know about this, so enjoy. Yes. Command Control Spacebar.
So I guess that
Yes. Yeah, so if you learn nothing else about Sinatra because you're rock steady on it, I try to sneak in some tidbits so that lecture is useful, right? There we go. Is that cool?
Shift command space.
Command Control Spacebar. Yeah. Yeah. Of everything I said, that's what you take notes on? Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. So why did it come out as this? Yes. Oh, that's what you guys are saying. Okay. Now I get it. Cool. Boom. Dynamic, right? And then if we were to do 4, I think it's like Stephen King. Money. Cool, right? Anything else? Cool. So, seriously, who wants me to go over new and edit? Or do you want to just fly through that? You want me to just do edit? Cool. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to... I built this already just to make sure it worked. Yeah?
on your controllers page, why is ERB, why is that quotes authors/index, authors/show?
That's a very good question. So I addressed this last time, but if I don't do this, you see the syntactical highlighting stops here?
Yeah.
It will see this slash as like almost like a new route or like a break, and it will never go to show. It'll just ERB authors, like some sort of author's file. It'll stop there. So if I want to take the whole thing, I have to wrap it in a string. Yeah? Great question. Yeah, because it'll be very hard to figure out why it's not working, and those are not things that it can be easily debugged or Googled. These things have to be asked. So if you're not asking questions right now, and you've been stuck on something for more than 5 or 10 minutes, please, I'm not that far of a walk. You know what I mean? Or just slack me.
This one where an amount of exercise and highlights.
Yes.
Photos of that.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what will happen. Right? So please, you're here to learn. Just ask, yeah? I won't bite your head off. Cool? Cool? Cool. All right. So you just want to see edit, right? Let's fly through this. Talking out, though, new is going to give you a form. Create is going to be the post. that's going to actually create the actual instance and then redirect you to the show page of the author that you just made, right? So now you want to see edit.
So when you say show page, that the one that we just made, like the author's page?
Yeah, so if I made a new author, in the create, in the post, after I do something like, author equal like author.new, and then I pass in like the params to make it, I would then redirect.
Would be created that way, right?
Yeah, it'd be create, sorry. You don't know about validations yet. Ugh. Cool. And then I'd redirect to like authors, and then I need to be able to interpolate the @author.id, right? Because it's right here.
And
And I'm putting in the ID that's going to match this route here, right?
So what would that take you to?
What would what take me to?
Author/ID.id.
This
Yeah.
would take me to here, which would then refine the author and then render the show page for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Cool. All right, let's jump to edit. Does anyone want me to go over new create, or I'm gonna jump to edit? Because that's what I want to. That's what I'm hearing. Sean.
new would be a get, I think, right?
New as a get creates the post. Awesome. Going once, twice. Sold to edit. Sweet. So, what's the first thing we need to do for edit?
Edit,
All right. And what's the route? The restful route.
author/.
Yeah? Why is this important here? Why do I need this?
I think it's relevant.
Right? So here we have author, and we need to do what? Right? So I need to be able to grab the author that I'm going to be editing, right? Or no?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens now? You tell me.
You have to go to the edit page, the edit page.
Excellent. So let's herb the, oh man, this is not going so hot. Cool. Just gonna wipe this. And what is this? Where is it going? Right? Author's edit? Cool. So let's make this edit page. That's what you're saying, right? Yeah? Sorry, just scratching my head. What goes in here?
Any form that has a hidden method of like patch errors.
Okay. So where are we pushing it to?
Show page.
What is the action?
Doesn't it want to send you back to the author's
Hmm?
ID page?
Well, we know we have to do a post, right? So it's going to be an author what? That specific one. But here we actually need what? @author ID. Because we have access to the instance variable from the controller. So now I can go hit an author with an ID for some post method. But if it's an edit, is it going to be a post? No, so this is a hidden one, right? And what's the name here? Sneaky. And what's the actual method we're trying to hit? Right? And this is going to make sure that we can hit the patch with the /author with the correct ID for what we're trying to edit. And now what are we trying to do? What's author have? Okay. Name here? Right? And what's the value? We have author.name. Right? The reason I want to use value in the edit and not the placeholder is because in the edit, the author instance already exists. Right? In the new form, which is almost a mirror copy, I'm going to use placeholder instead. Because placeholder doesn't actually have any real value. It just displays something. Value actually holds real value. Right? Cool. What's next?
Submit.
Right? It's an input type submit. And what's the name for this? What's the value? Right? Edit. Dat. Author. Right? Cool. So let's go to 4 and let's edit this author. Okay. Do I have to do the set views on this thing too?
You put a slash in front of the,
Was that what it was?
like back at the.
Oh yeah. Caught me. Caught me. Cool. Boom. So this right here actually holds value, and what I mean by that is cool. Right? Let's put the edit on this side. Cool. Yeah. All right. So, what is this going to hit? What route is this going to hit? A patch with an author ID that's interpolated? So, right, author's ID. Is this a get? Cool. Oops. Thank you. Cool. And what happens here? Let's find out, right? So, what I mean by this actually has value is I typed nothing in here, right? If I hit edit that value, patch author 4. Oh, I put author instead of authors. Cool. I should hang, right? Nice. So now I'm in this patch, right? I'm in this binding here. So what are my params? Stop. Cool. I have this, right? This comes in from the form because it's a hidden input type. So this naturally is just going to come through. This is irrelevant right now. We have a name of Stephen King because the value, I left it alone. That's why it's so important for me to interpret that value so that it actually comes through already without me typing anything. And then the ID of 4. That make sense? So if I wanted to change it, where is it? Here we go. If I wanted to change this, right? Like, well, who's a good author, right? Mark Manson. I'm gonna hang, right? I'm gonna hit my params. And so now I have Mark Manson. That is what is gonna be coming through on the other side as my params. Does that make sense? So now, with this params, what can I do? I can probably do what? At author equals to, I don't want to use this in my pry. Dot find with the ID of 4. So far so good? I'm just going to find the author that matches this ID. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And then with the author, I want to be able to update those attributes. What attribute did I want to update? The name. And then how do I access this right here in this indifferent hash? True. So what is author now? Author is now Mark Manson. So this is the code that I need to be putting in my edit. So let's do it. First thing I do is in my patch, I should be doing author, right? Or in this case, author. I want that exact code, right? Dot find with the params ID. So I'm getting the right author, first of all. Secondly, I'm going to update the things that I wanted to update, which were the name And then I want it to be on the params with the key of name. And that will do it. That will commit it to the database. Then what happens?
Save.
Right? I don't need to save because update will actually, if you looked at the code, right when I called update, it began the transaction, committed it, returned true. And then I called author, it saved it into the database already. So I can just now redirect to what? Author with an ID. So that way I can see, I can show the page, the show page for the author. So I can show you the page where that name is now changed. Any questions on this? Yeah.
Can you just quickly edit? Can you just quickly edit something so we can see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I will.
Does it matter in the redirect whether it's double quotes or just single?
For here, yes, because I'm interpolating.
Okay.
Right? Double quotes interpret. What?
And you don't need the colon for the redirect?
I don't need the what?
The colon for the redirect when you go to the ERB?
You mean like here?
No. So redirect space colon the path.
Oh, God, I actually forget. The redirect, I think it just takes a string as a method, but in the ERB, it'll take it, like it needs the symbol followed by the string. But you know what? Let's find out. I actually don't remember. Yeah? Cool beans. So I'm actually going to remove the binding because it's bindings for chumps. And let's say you want to see this, right? So look, Mark Manson changed, but just for you, Daniel Jung, right? Actually, you know, I just put your boy, right? I don't want to like make people feel bad. So your boy. And that's like pretty intense, right? Yeah, there it is. Cool? All right, so now I want to show you something interesting. All right, cool. Are you guys good with this?
Yeah.
What? How can I help you with this?
No, I mean, I just need to, like, I haven't done this stuff in labs yet, so.
Okay. No worries. How are you following along the lecture, okay? Awesome. So, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to show you what the nested resource looks like, right? So in books, a little bit different. Who wants me to show you index and show for books? Pretty straightforward? Pretty straightforward. So let's do a new, right? So in the new, what's the first thing we need to do?
Yeah.
All right, and we need to go to books, new. Cool. And what happens in here? It just shows books new. Ugh. This right here, right? Like watch your highlighting, right? It should give you a hint. Yeah? Because this won't run, but this will. Cool? So that means that in my books folder, I'm going to have something called new. And what's going to be in here? Right? The new form? Cool. Boop, 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 boop. So, where is this going? I think it just goes to books, yeah? Right? I'm just going to make a post request to books. So, a little bit input action, and what's going to be this? What is this first thing that's going to happen? Well, what does book have? All right, cool. So it has a title, right? And what's the value here? Placeholder. And what do we want? Give me a title. May you totally missed out on this. Please. Boop. Okay, I guess you just weren't as impressed. All right. Give me a snippet. All right. So I can, if I wanted to, put like text field in here. For this purposes, it's not really super important. I'm just trying to teach you something. And what's this? All right, snippet. That's the other thing. And so for now, let's just keep that. Right. At some point, we know we need author. Right. So let's do it. Let's go to books/new.
You're missing a do.
I am missing a do. Thank you. If you knew this whole time, bro. No, it's all good. Oh, look at that. Angel. Cool. So, what is this gonna hit? What route? Right? So, in my books controller, right, in my create, I'm gonna do what? A post, right, from here to what? /books. And I'm not going to forget the do this time, or the end. Embarrassing. And we're just going to drop a binding. I want to show you something, and that is Intro to SQL Ruby. What a great book. And what's this snippet? Very boring. Oh no, there's no submit button. Ooh. That's gotta be. That's a bad user experience. Submit, right? And what's the value? Let's make it fun. Right? The vomit emoji? Yeah, that book was terrible. Cool. Right? So refresh action? Cool. So what's the title? Right? Intro to TDD back on August 7th. Do you remember that one? Do you remember the time? All right, cool. And this is going to be the submit button, right? I love emojis. What a time to be alive. Cool. So I'm hanging here, right? You can see this? So I'm in my post, right? So what are my params? No. Damn, I'm hitting this.
What happens if we can write params somewhere else and then paste it in? Just do something.
This terminal, man. So is this the error you ran into last night? Yeah. As you know, there's no great fix for it. You just have to open a new one like this. Cool. So let's CD, let's NY, Flatiron School, your NYC 0827. And this was 16 associated objects, right? Cool. So I actually need to kill the server. And I think I did. Server's done. Dunskies. Cool. Let's load her up. Embarrassing. I'm sorry, let me load up. All right, cool.
Is that literally like in-capture keyboard?
Yeah, if you run into that bug where like your keys don't work for some reason, it's real. Missing and all my code is all sorts of jacked up. Cool. So blah 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 blah. This is the snippet. It's a little bit longer, so you can know. Cool. I'm hanging. I'm just hanging on. Cool. All right. A little params action. So here we have the title and the snippet. Right. Nothing wild. So what I want to show you is, let's just say, you know what? We do it right here. Ready? I'll just open a new one. Split plane vertically. So here, I'm going to start a brand new IRB session. And let's just say we want to do something like wild, like params equals to a hash. Try to simulate real life conditions, yeah? Nothing crazy. And in my params, I have a key of, I don't know, book. All right? Nothing crazy. And that, for some reason, I also want to make it a hash. What are params now?
Hash.
Yeah, right? So what if I wanted to take in something like an attribute and assign it to I don't know, book title? What would happen? What if I did attribute dose and I said this was the book snippet? What would params look like?
It's going to be a hash within a hash with a key value of attribute dose and a value of book snippet.
This is what it would look like. It's just a nested hash. So if I did params book, what would I get?
Just the hash.
Just the regular hash, right? What if I did something like book.new with params book? Would I be able to create a book just like that with just these key value pairs? Obviously, it's not attribute, it's title, hint, hint, and then this is snippet, right? Would that work?
Yes.
How can I recreate this in my form?
Well, can you just basically do that same like nesting for the values of the submit, like Google Labs?
What if I wanted to do something like book and just put this right in there? Just like that. What would come across as params? Let's find out. Oh, whoops, just kidding. Twilight. All right, our favorite story about a young wizard at Hogwarts, right? Yes, that's what the story's about. Very good, thank you, May. As always, feedback is amazing. I have a hash, right, with a key of book, and it gives me title Twilight, snippet Young Wizard at Hogwarts. I just made my own nested hash within params so that I can potentially do something like this. Right? This is how you do mass assignment within a form. Did this make sense over here? Like how I was able to derive it and then ultimately put it inside the form? If this made sense and you can recreate it, just raise your hand. Okay, so the main thing, the only key takeaway is that I added this book key inside. And that is how I was able to create the nested hash, so I can pass in an entire hash all at once to start making all of my objects, right? So now I can blindly start copying from the internet and it will work. Yeah, Daniel?
Just a reminder, what was the code that you did to pass in the hash?
It was, I got params, right? And because I added my own key of book within the name field, it made this book hash within the params hash.
Right.
And I gave it a title and a snippet key. And those pointed to the values coming out of the form. And so I was able to call params book to get the isolated hash for everything within my params hash. Yeah. And so I can in fact just do mass assignment at this point because I'm just passing in a hash as an argument and it's going to match up. Right? All from mod 1 stuff. Cool. All right. So the next thing I want to show you, what's up?
No, I was just.
Oh. The next thing I want to show you is we need to be able to add what to this book? The author, right? So let's do that. Let us see how we can do that, right? We can be, I don't know if this word's offensive or not, janky? Is that like I don't know, janky? I don't know. It's a thing that I say.
Is that input shortcut built into Atom?
Yeah, you just type in input or you type in the tag, like if I wanted like a P tag, tab, right? Boom. Or if I wanted H1 tag, tab, boom, right? Little image action. And I think if you have Emmet, I have Emmet, you can just like add classes. Like I want an image tag with the class of awesome. Oh no, damn, it didn't work. I don't have Emmet. So that was embarrassing. Sorry. Yeah, was that answer your question?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, Charlie, what's up?
To go to a book bag and it says,
Don't want to put, oh yes, thank you. Ugh. Trying to show you all this stuff. Bay caught me slipping. No? Do you guys remember where it was like, yeah, all right, cool. All right, just me. Not just me, rather. So, what I can do is I can put in something really grimy and I can just hard code it. Author ID, right? And I can say placeholder. I can say give me an author's ID, right? I can totally do that. So let's do it. Yes, that's the next real question, right? But let's see first if it works. Cool. I have a title, I have a snippet, and I have an author ID of 4. That's no big deal. I can hit this submit throw up button because that's gross code. And then I can do my favorite, params. Can I do book.new with my params now with the key of book?
You also need to connect the authors.
You have two different IDs, book and books.
Oh, I have book and books? Embarrassing. Which one is it? It's book. That didn't do what I wanted to do. All right, this is a really cool book, right? And we have author ID of 4. Great. Now I can look at my params. I can do this, and it'll take. Active record's awesome because guess what type of class this is? It's a fixed num, right? Integer, I mean, same thing, right? If I pass in a string into a number field, right? Because remember, I did author ID in my migration as an integer. It will take it. It will automatically convert, right? So like if I were to do book.new, right, and I did author ID, I can pass in 3 or I can pass in 3. Right? Yeah, super cool. Active record. Right? And so even though when I submitted the form, it came through as a string, as you can see in this hash, it will still take. Cool. Any questions on mass assignment and the ability to do that in the form? All right? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know, how do you mass assignment? You just showed us one photo, for example.
Oh, I'm sorry. That could be confusing. The term mass assignment in this case is used as in I'm passing in a hash to mass assign the attributes of book versus making 40 books with something, right? Like what we don't want to do is this anymore, right? Who wants to do this? Oh, so fun. God, I'm bored already. All right, almost there. I'm gonna lose the classroom to Brandon by the time I finish. But do you get what I'm saying? Like this is no longer a viable option because we're gonna have models with so many different attributes. Even typing in just 3 was painful. So you can mass assign attributes by passing in just a hash, and we could do that by manipulating the form. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Sorry if that was confusing, because mass assignment could mean like I'm making like 30 books, right? And I can see where you're coming from. Cool?
Are you gonna show us how to do it without putting it on
Yeah, yeah, that's. I'm gonna do that right now. Come right up, sir. So, let's do that. Instead of doing this, what I would like to see at some point is I just want to be able to get like a drop down, right? Because like, how would I be able to know all these authors? And I definitely don't want to see this drop down with like these numbers. So this is just regular HTML, right? I forgot how to do it. So allow me to show you how I Google, right? I don't know, HTML dropdown. I forgot. Oh, here it is. Select tag. That's the one. Look at that. Bam. What's this? Bam. Right? A little bit of that. A little bit of nested indentation. Cool? Does that work? I just want to see if it works. So, let's do it. Cool. I can give it a title, I can give it a snippet, and I can give it a car. Right? Except I really... That's funny to you guys? Cool. He's trying to make a book with a car. I can see why I'm not funny. So, instead, what I can do is I need to get all the authors into my view. I need to get all the authors into my view. Where would I get all the information from into the view?
Can you just do one of the like an each within the like option thing instead of these?
Say again?
Like you could do the each do with the option thing and then these. So like for each of the possible authors in the hash, do an option thing and then.
I could, right? And I will. But what I'm asking is, where is that coming from? So this data, the new, comes from here, yeah? Even though this is the books controller, can I be a little sneaky and do this? Right? I definitely did it in Mod 1. You did it all in your assessment, right? Stop playing. If you don't think you can do it, lie to me. Right? You can call a class from another class. Right? You do it all day. So, why can't I do it? Therefore, I can in fact probably do something like this. Author.all. Instead of seeing these options in this, what do I want to see? For each of these authors, right? You're right. What I mean to say was each. Thank you. For each of these authors, right? What do I want to see? I probably don't want to see like all this. Volvo is a great option, sure. All right. And I just want to end. Meaning, based on the number of authors that I have, I should see how many options. I should see this come up twice. So, I only see 2 now. Right? Slowly, baby steps. Now, instead of Volvo, what should I put in here? Right? Like, I don't want to see Volvo, I want to see the author's name. So, short feedback loop, right? Oh yeah, that's right. It's not Stephen King. It's me. Right? Yeah, boy. Let's find out. Let's say I submit. What are my params? Dang it. All my keyboard shortcuts are jacked up. So what are my params? What's going on here? Well, yeah, what is going on here? I should see Volvo.
Oh, you gotta try them on this.
Did you name it?
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't. I get the params through the name, and the value comes from out of nowhere, right? Comes from what comes out here, right? So do I need value here?
Yes, but not.
What value should I put in here? Let's play with both, right? So we have name equal, unless you have an idea, Chris. I'm not trying to shut you down.
You could do author.id.
For
The value.
cool.
It's got a name.
Okay. And what is the name? Book?
Author ID.
Book author ID? Because think about it, right? What is value? Value is what's going to be the key, the value for this key. What happens between these blocks is what is displayed. So there's three things happening here. And I want to try my best to show you. So for value, for now, I'm just going to put the key value. All right, we're all Filipino now. Bear, right? So, a little bit. I got exit. I got exit. I want to make a new book. And I want something, and I want your boy. Cool. So what are my params here? Oh man, I need, sorry. This is the option. Embarrassing. It goes in the select. Right? The select tag is the one that controls what happens with the options. Sorry. I was wondering why it wasn't coming through. That'd been bad. Boop, boop, boop. A little bit of this. I should not keep redirecting. Blah, 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 blah. And your boy, of course. What a great book. Would you buy that book? I will sign it for you. Cool. So author ID is your boy. What's going on here?
Just shuffle around with different.
How would we play around with this and this?
The value get changed to the option.
Mm-hmm. Just thoughts?
Code by author return. Written in codes.
Mm-hmm. You could do that. Any thoughts? Actually, oops. Whatever. Let's leave this up here. Actually, this is a good time to just troll around, look at my notes. I think I had another one here. Swoop. Oh, sorry. Is that better?
You put like the display.
So, well, we have this name here, right? What is name? The value, sorry, this is my bad, is in the option. I can't do this, I'm sorry. Can't do this. Screen, so like if my finger like touches the back on it, cool. So let's try it, yeah? I don't need to do that anymore. That's dumb. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's not just confusing for everybody. So I still have these come through. What are my params? Right? So what you can infer then from here, based on what you see here, is what? What is your boy? Your boy is going to be the author name. In the select, this is where the key is coming from. And the value is going to be what comes up on the params. So, very much like what Chris said in the beginning, this should then be interpreted to what? right? Because I want whatever came in here to go here. So finally, for the last time, hopefully, let's do this. Oop. All right, real title, right? Real snippet all day. And it's Madeline, right? Sorry. Cool. Nice. It's finally come through with what I want. Sorry, I needed to break it so that you can actually piece those pieces together. You understand like what each individual thing is doing, right? So in here between the option tag is what gets displayed. The value from the option tag is what comes up as the value for the params. And in the select tag is what comes up as the key within the params. So if nothing else, this is how to operate the nested form. This is how to do a much simpler, cleaner drop down select to do a nested form to create an association in Sinatra. What are your questions on this? I try to like break it a lot so that you can see like all the weird ways it works. Yeah?
Are there labs on this?
Yes, there are labs on this. Yep. So you will have practice with this. But were you able to follow along? Right? Like
drop down for the title of where you have drop down for the title also.
you wouldn't have a drop down for a title because you're creating a new one. So you'd want the user to just put whatever title they want.
So you just have drop down for all of them. That's it.
Right? Because author already exists and you want to be able to select one of the authors. Rather than putting in like, oh, I want this on author 9. You're like, who's author 9? The user has to be able to see who the author is. Right? This is more about user experience. Right? I mean, this is probably not, but this is. Yeah? If I had more authors, this would be cooler, actually. Sorry. Yeah?
So this one just create a new book, or what is it?
What it will do is following the rest of this, right? Because we have the params now within the books controller. I got 45 seconds. Cool. All right, time me, yeah? So all I'm going to do is book.create. And I'm going to pass in the params with the key of book that I wanted. And then I'm just going to redirect to the books with the ID of, book.id. Boom. Time. Right? And that's how that book is made with the nested resource in the form with an association. Is that cool? All right. We are being kicked out. That is actually like buzzer beating lecture finish. If you have questions, I'll answer them outside to let the other room take the other class take the room. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for your time today.
Just real quick.